Welcome, enjoying your blended family for Fun Friday. And all I can say is library dates.
I just sang that and you just stole it from me.
It was in my head.
Library.
There it is. That was good. I was impressed.
Thank you.
So library dates.
Hear us out. Don't turn us off. You're like library snooze, books, learning, boring.
Oh, you don't want to turn off.
It's not the case. It's not the case. It is actually, we're going to give you so many different ideas that we have here at our local libraries, and every city usually has a library and is doing different things. So you have endless possibilities of usually, almost always free fun family or couples date nights.
Yes. And those are some favorite words all linked together. It's going to be a great episode. Stay tuned.
All right. So, like I said, hopefully you stayed after.
Well, they're here. They're with us. They're like, you know what? I'm ready. Give it to me. Let me hear about the library. Besides from what I imagine in the movies as being boring, it's just not true.
It isn't. The library, and I'm trying really hard not to say library, the country in me.
Library.
Want to say library.
We're going library, y'all.
The library, they have really just embraced family and date nights and engaging activities that are not just we used to think library, like Randall and I were going to go do an interview or something. We were going to go talk, and we're selling our house right now. Just FYI, if you don't know that, we're in the process of selling, and we're going to go start the RV life. So just threw that in there. I was waiting for an opportunity. No, I really wasn't. But I was like, why were we leaving the house? We were going to leave the house and we were going to go to the library. And he's like, well, can we talk there? You got to be quiet. And I'm like, yes, we can talk in the library.
Yeah. Well, you're talking like if you do an RV life, sometimes you want to have different meeting places and things like that. And really, we were just tossing around places that we might be able to go and communicate and talk about work life, all that. And the library came up because they got like really good spots and locations to be able to do that. They've got couches, recliners, all different types of things there besides just the tables, and they got their little workspaces with the dividers for the quiet ones and things like that. But I guess really my first dive into the library, besides the typical what I always thought them to be, and experiencing at how much engagement they are, community engagement, trying to get you involved in doing things with your family, doing things with your spouse, is they had a murder mystery at ours. If anyone knows about murder mysteries, they're fun because you're solving clues. You're trying to figure out who did it. And they had this at our library one event, and we saw it. I was like, hey, let's go try it out.
Side note, because we've hosted a couple murder mysteries, we need to do a Fun Friday murder mystery.
That is true.
To do it at your house. That's a side note, because we have yet to do a Fun Friday on those, and you get them online. But anyways, this one, someone else plans and is putting on for you.
You just have to show up, and it's free.
It's free, and you show up, and there's random couples there as well, and it's usually after, they call it a lock-in sometimes at ours because it's after hours. But you're going, and you're getting to like find and solve the problems, which when we do our common interest thing, like solving problems is something we both have a common interest in.
We do. We love the murder mystery type things. So that was right up our alley. This is something that you could take a group of friends to, and you could have a fun time as a group of friends, or this is a great couple thing. This, and sometimes this one that they did was an adult one. They do have family things as well that you can bring the kids, and you can do it as a family unit. But this was something that we did as a couple. We showed up just on a whim, and we met other couples there. But what they did was every part of the libraries are so big. They have so much room, so many different rooms, and they had it so well thought out that every room had clues, and you had to go into that room for an allotted time and solve the clue that was in that area. And I remember there was one area to where we had to go through different books. We're trying to find different books that matched Yeah, like each book gave a clue. Like there
Oh,
was a
yeah.
clue inside the book, but you had to find the book. And it was almost kind of like the Joker, to where he gives you these riddles, and you had to solve the riddle to find the right book to get the clue. And at the end, you had all these clues, and you put them together, and then you figured out what you needed to for that area. And there were so many different things like that. And we had so much fun that night. We were running around the library like kids. It was like, this is really cool.
And with complete strangers, which, I mean, we met new people that night as well and got out of our comfort zone a little bit. And these were one of those things that I wasn't searching this out. It was like a Facebook event that the library had put on. And sometimes I'll just look on the different local events and see what's going on. And I was like, hey, this is one that it's free and we both enjoy this kind of stuff. So let's go give it a try. So if you don't know like what your local library is doing, you can just go to their website, and they usually have things listed out for your county. And then also they make Facebook events a lot of times for them, so you can go look on there as well.
Yeah, we had such a fun time there doing that. I just remember walking away from it going, okay, that was awesome. That was really fun. And that's something, for me, my personality type was a little out of my comfort zone. I'm not used to just going into things blindly, or getting into a room full of people I don't know. That's a little more uncomfortable for me. But whenever I do things like that, it stretches me and grows me. But it was a murder mystery that we both loved doing. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do this. And we had such a blast. But that was really a good dive in for me, saying, okay, libraries are pretty legit. They got things like going on pretty good here. They got a lot of happening things. But that's just to name one.
Yes, and that's when we have a whole lot. So we're going to just start talking about them and sharing the different things. And again, your library and your community is going to have different type stuff, but they usually have some sort of clubs that you can do. And this can be one of those things that we talk about all the time, like you're finding your own self-interest, or you're finding your couple interest, or you're finding an interest with one of your children, your biological children, your stepchildren, any of these things that you could find that you have that common interest in, sign up for that. So they have like these book clubs that are geared towards different things. Like say you and your kids are both into comic books, they have clubs out there for that. They even have events out there for that, where it's like a Comic-Con, but on a simpler, easier version at your local library. So looking into though, they have like knitting and gardening, all of that. So if there's something that you have a personal interest in, or you and your family members share that common interest, go do that.
Yeah, so it is. It's getting online, just seeing what your library has, the events, maybe following on Facebook, following on Instagram, things like that, just to see what's happening over there. Because it really is this free family fun that you get to have, and it just exposes you to new things you wouldn't always do. So we're going to name some of these that we know we've seen, and your local libraries are going to have things very similar. So you're going to want to check, and some might even be more specific to your area, things of that nature. But these are all going to kind of be some of the common themes you will see. So they have game nights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you like board games? Having games like that? The library is really cool because you can rent these games free, right? This isn't like Blockbuster used to be that you had to go pay to rent. This is one of those, you can go rent board games for free, but they also have game nights to where you come and you can just sit out there in the library and play games with, your crew, maybe your family, or maybe your family can play with another family or something to that.
And it's one of those great things that if you don't want to go buy, because you got to store these games and you're buying these games, you don't know if your family's going to like it, just going and hanging out at the library and looking and seeing what they have. And again, like you said, you can play it there, or they let you check it out and bring it home. What's the game, the one we played with Susan and Cameron? That we kicked their butt in?
Catan.
So I had never heard of Catan, and we played it with our older kids here at the house. And then I was at the library, and I saw they had Catan sitting up there for you to be able to rent. And I was like, oh my goodness, yes. Like, that's not something I would want to go buy that I want to keep here. But hey, I could go and rent it from the library.
Yeah. So it's checking that out. You can go check out games. You can play them there, or they have game nights to where they open it up to where everybody's coming there playing games.
And they do that same thing too, like for craft nights. We do tutoring at the library sometimes. And so one night I was at the library tutoring, and it was fall, and so they had pumpkins out and they had family coming in there. And again, you think of these things are like louder activities. Why would that be in the library? But it's usually an after hours, not even after hours, but later in the evening type thing. And there's families in there just carving pumpkins and digging the stuff out the inside. And I thought, this is what I'm talking about, library. This is bringing families together. It gives you those ideas. They're providing, again, free. And then they also, a lot of times, have little craft kits that you can take with you. And then y'all, when you go to the library, check out some books, then you can take a craft home as well.
That's just an amazing thing that you can do and experience those things with your kids. They have story time there, which is pretty common. I remember that even from me being a kid growing up. They would do that in the summertime. We would go to the library and they would read stories, and you would just get engrossed in that.
And a lot of times those stories, especially in the summertime, but they have special guests come in. And I know I've taken our kids during the summer because we love Randall. He'll talk sometimes about his bitterness of having to work through the summer when the kids are growing up, and I was a school teacher, so we would go do fun stuff. And that was just one of those free things that we would go hit up whatever the cool thing was and we live like in a radius where we probably have 6-7 different libraries in a 20-minute driving range either direction. And so the one that had the science experiments, we would drive out that way and we would go see that show, or had a special dinosaur exhibit, like whatever the kids were into right then, we would go watch that show, and it was part of story time, but they had special guests.
And then they have holiday themes. So as you were mentioning, the pumpkins, they do that for holidays as well. For Christmas, they'll have activities. For Thanksgiving, they'll have activities. Springtime, fall time, seasonal, they'll have activities. So it's really checking it. They've got loaded up with summer things, but they got things all throughout the fall, all throughout winter, all throughout spring as well.
Okay, are we down to the last one yet so I can share my
I think
favorite,
we are.
the secret one?
I think so.
If you know what I'm
You're going to
saying.
share the secret one?
Yeah, this is one that most people, I don't think you would know. The only reason I know is because as a teacher, every once in a while, I would take advantage of this. And then right now, currently, because we did our Starry Night episode a while back, and I remembered, it jarred my memory, that they do this at the library. Hang on, we'll be right back.
It's time to have some more blended family fun. Yeah, are you ready?
What was that?
I've been really working on this song. What do you think?
Sure. It's great, babe.
Well, it goes along with how to enjoy your blended family. The 5 dates to discover fun in your step family, the greatest thing since sliced bread for blended families.
Okay, I get it now. I feel your excitement, but why don't you tell them about it instead of singing it to them?
Wow, okay, shut me down. Why don't you? All right, let me try. When you have more fun together, you see less blended family drama. But we can get so caught up in life and problems that we miss out on really enjoying our family. So we'll walk you through 5 dates where you'll discover more fun your family loves and have a great plan to keep it going. How's that?
Pretty good. Short and sweet. I know that got them way more excited about all the fun possibilities they can experience with their family than your song did.
What? Seriously?
Well, you could have also told them that it not only creates more fun in their whole family doing this, but it also adds more fun in their marriage and gives them new ways to connect with their kids individually. It's also great for building that step-parent relationship. You could have said all that too.
I don't think you really appreciated all the work that I put in on that song.
Anyways, How to Enjoy Your Blended Family, 5 Dates to Discover Fun in Your Step Family is available for you today. Discover more fun and you'll see less problems. The link to get started is in the show notes of this episode.
Have more fun with your blended family and go on these 5 dates today. You'll be so glad you did. Yeah, yeah.
Really? You had to go there again. Let's get back to this episode. The libraries will often have big ticket items that you don't want to purchase, but that you can rent from the library, just like a library book. So you got to take it home, take care of it, do the thing, and bring it back so you don't get charged for it and that kind of stuff. But you can rent telescopes at our library. I said library. It came out. I got too excited.
Telescopes in our library. You didn't rent telescopes.
You can rent tents. Is that not awesome? You can rent
tents. That
is
pretty cool.
You can rent like the baking stuff. Like if you want like certain, like how Randall was saying with the holidays, and maybe it's like a heart-shaped muffin tin. Things that you don't normally want to buy and keep on hand because we don't have that much storage for all those different things. They have them along with books that, can teach you how to bake. So if your kid's really into that, you're renting that. They have gardening stuff where it's teaching you how to garden, and then it gives you some supplies, some tools to use outside so you can go plant a garden, and then you clean it up and give it back to them for free.
Yes. But, we're in for us, we're in a decluttering stage of life. If you've owned a home or rented or whatever, been in a home, it doesn't take long at all. You start collecting so much stuff. Like, how much stuff do you actually use that's in your garage right now? If you think about that, how much do you really use? And we could probably go closet by closet doing the same thing. So as we've been decluttering, it's like, why do we keep all this stuff? Why do we feel the necessity to go buy all this stuff? And this gives us that alternative. Instead of going and maybe we might play a game once or twice or a couple times and then it sits on our shelf, why not go rent it instead for free and then come use it and then give it back? And then next time maybe we go rent something else. That way it's not just, we're not collecting all these things.
On that note, because like with this episode, we are spilling the beans with you that we are decluttering. We're going to smaller
quarters.
Yes. And so we had to get rid of a lot of stuff. And Randall was the king of collecting movies. He has DVDs out the wazoo. And we have already gone through them. And I have already sold so many movies. But this go
Seriously,
around.
I had, to put it in perspective, I started collecting before we had got married. I was a single dad. And every week the new movie would come out on DVD. This wasn't even Blu-ray days yet. And that was my entertainment. I would just go buy it because it was normally at a discount for the first week it came out. I'd go buy it, and before you know it, seriously, I had at least 500 to 600 DVDs collected and piled up.
When we met, when I first went to his house, he had one whole wall where he had them just stacked up, rows of them, as almost as tall as us. I don't think they were as tall as we were, maybe about shoulder length, all on one wall. He has so many movies. And again, we have narrowed it down, but we still had a lot. And so since we're moving, this is one of those things that it's not like Randall can't part with them, but as we were learning like ways to get rid of stuff where you're not actually getting rid of it, things that were important to you. And one is to ask family members or friends if they would like it. So we asked our kids if they would like his DVD collection, and they said, heck yes. They're actually fighting over them currently over the Pulp Fiction limited edition, they're calling it. So there's the reason I say all of that, actually, like, where are y'all going with this story in the library? They have movies, all kinds of movies, just like you can check out and rent a book, well, not rent, but check out a book and take it. You can take movies home to watch as well. You don't have to go spend money on them. You don't have to store them up like Randall with 500 and 600 movies at the house. You go, you find the movie you want to watch it with your family, make it a whole thing, like, ooh, let's go pick this movie out, and y'all go there together and you find the movie and then come home and make some popcorn, make a big, pallet on the floor or something. All of these things, we're giving you the start of the idea. That's why we say that here. Like, these are ideas you've probably heard of before. Going to the library is not that odd or new, but you take that and that's just a little spark of, okay, how can I use this to create this moment and these memories on transition night with your kids? Okay, on Fridays are hard when the kids come over. Let's go on the way from school or the way from pickup. Let's go over to the library, pick a movie out and pick a game night or a game to play for game night and take it back home and get some pizza and start your night out that way. Like, you can use these as these moments that your kids are going to remember forever.
And just kind of, wrapping this episode up,
You saying I was talking too much? What?
No, not at all. I was just intrigued. I was like, oh, you're so good, so great information that you're saying, and I was just kind of lost in trance, and then you quit. So
and then
I was like,
quit.
well, okay, well, let me wrap this one up.
All right.
No, but you know, one thing that we all know, there's power in reading, right? And that's why libraries still exist, even in an online world. But there's power and knowledge in books. And maybe you're not a reader, maybe your kids aren't, but this is exposing them to it, right? So even stepping in a library is exposing them to something maybe new, or exposing them to that reading.
We shared all of these ideas, and none of them really involved books in the library.
Well, you know, and that was... we did that on purpose because the library does so much more. So we can say, hey, go to the library. In the episode, there it is. Just go to the library. But I don't think we realize how much the library offers. That is so much more than just books. And that's what we're presenting to you right now. There are so many fun ways that you can have fun date nights with your family, with your spouse, going and using the library and using all the free stuff that's already there and available for you. We just don't know it's there. And so that's the purpose of this episode, is to really present that, spark ideas, get you checking out your own library. But, you know, so there, you know, we know there's power in books and stuff. Another great thing, kind of like I said, wrapping up this episode, honey,
wrapping up, there's a rabbit, shut your mouth, lady.
is that they have audiobooks there as well. What a great thing to go get a fiction audiobook for you and your kids. Mm-hmm. And maybe you're using it on the rides to school or the rides home, or, you know, whenever you're out in a car. But that's like y'all story time, that you're plugging this in, and it's something that maybe the kids and you're looking forward to is hearing more of the story.
I love that you said that, because it reminded me, we have a lot of you guys that are listening here, you have to go travel maybe an hour or 2 hours to go get your kids during transition day. And this is a time that you feel I'm taking your words and what you say to me, that you feel like it's a wasted time in a sense, because you're traveling. Not, I say wasted because you're going to get your kids, but you're just spending so much time on the road. And this is one of those things that you can take it and turn it into this opportunity that you look forward to. How exciting for your kid when you're driving to take them back to their other parents and y'all are listening to this story together, that they have to wait and anticipation till you come and pick them back up to finish that story together on your ride back to the house. And this, you think, okay, that's, maybe for the younger ones. I did this with our young adults. We had a long drive a couple months ago, and we put on Hunger Games, because this was a classic movie that the kids liked when they were in their preteen stage. So we went to Audible on our phone actually and put on an audio book like that. So you don't even have to use the library. But okay, last thing for real. And then I'm gonna your library has something like what we use is called Hoopla, which is attached to your library card, but it's an app on your phone called Hoopla. And they don't have all the books that are out there, but whatever the local library has access to, you put in your library information, and then you have access to their audiobooks like that digitally. So again, you're not having to go get a CD like we used to have to do. But we put on Hunger Games and we were listening to it, and man, my niece was in the car with us and she was listening to it. We were just so into the story, and we'd watched Hunger Games, but we had never read the story before. And we all know that books have so much more in them that they say when they make the movie, it doesn't do it justice. And so we were experiencing that for the first time, oh, wow, this gave me an insight to Katniss. Me and her are best friends now because I feel like I know her better. So that's one of those things. So thank you for jarring my memory on that.
Oh, yeah. It's just one of those things that we can use. And what a great thing, too, whenever they come back. Maybe y'all, before you even listen to pick back up where you are, that you're rehashing, hey, let's talk, what happened before? Where are we at? And now you and your kids are bouncing back. Oh, yeah, remember this? Oh, yeah, that happened. And you're really being intentional then on just having fun connecting, having fun using stories to be able to do that. So the library really is rich with all kinds of ways for you and your family to have a lot of fun together. So use it, check it out, go follow them, see what they've got going on, and just go enjoy it. Let that be a part of some of the family fun that y'all get to have together.
I cannot wait for you to be able to go enjoy your blended family at the library.
Well, I see what you did there, enjoying your blended family.
I was wrapping it up.
Not like rapping, enjoying your blended family. That was terrible. Sorry, guys. We're gonna end this episode now with that one. That was really bad. I'm gonna go lock myself in a room and practice rap.
You could just edit that sucker out.
Listen, we love you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Later.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
And when you join, we also want to give you a free gift. So go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day. Remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.